Hi, today we're going to talk about Australian sparkling, where it's at, some great producers, some big producers, some little producers, a new project. This is Mumm's entry into Tasmania, the first in Australia, following on from their New Zealand Marlborough collaboration. We've got one of the Australian greats, House of Arras. We've got an incredible boutique producer from the Adelaide Hills, a new old producer, very old property, very new producer on the scene currently, and one of Australia's most widely sold sparkling wines, Jansz. Okay, a couple of notes on service. Firstly, I'm going to pour these wines as we speak. I'm not going to pour them all before I start talking. I want to see the bubbles, I want to see them pour, and if there's any issues with any of the corks, I want to talk about that too. Secondly, we've got champagne stoppers or sparkling wine stoppers. I love both of these styles. One fits over the top and around the neck. The other clamps either side of the neck, around the sides. These are both fantastic options for storing champagne in your fridge. I prefer this one. I feel like this kind of is a little bit more secure, but both are excellent. And I need to get a bunch more because I seem to lose them easily. And the third and final thing to discuss is glassware. So these at the moment, these are the glasses that I use for drinking champagne at home. These are the Riedel Sommelier Series champagne glass. I like it very much. I'm still flirting with other glass shapes and sizes for champagne. It really does depend on the cuvee. As you know, I use the Gabriel standard glasses for all of my tastings, and I really quite like drinking champagne out of these, especially if it's a bigger, richer style. So it really does depend, but I'm open to suggestions. If you've got a really fantastic champagne glass that you use and you think that I'm missing out on, please let me know. The last glassware video that I did yielded some fantastic conversation, and I ended up getting a set of the Grassel glasses that so many of you spoke about. Loved them, used them for all of the nice wines that I drink at home. So in wine number one, we have the Jansz Cuvee, the non-vintage. So as you probably know, Jansz is owned by the Hillsmith family in South Australia of Yalumba fame. And this has got to be in every bottle shop fridge in Australia, surely. So a little bit about the wine. So pH TA is 3.15 pH, 6.62 TA. We've got very little bubbles in the glass at this point, 8.6 grams of residual, 12% alcohol, on lees for a minimum of 18 months and 100% malolactic fermentation. It's beautiful. It's lemon curd and lift and brightness on the nose. In the mouth, it's plump. The sugar comes through. It is sweet. It is almost matched by enough acidity to keep that balanced. This is certainly like a really good kind of weekend sparkling wine, I reckon. I think this is a good barbecue fizz. Really lovely. Plump, soft oyster shells, lemon curd, apples, that kind of thing. Lovely. Moving into the second wine. So this is from a producer called Lowestoft in Tasmania. And when I said they're new old, the homestead was built on the Lowestoft property like in the 1830s, right? Note that I've got my thumb over the top, don't panic. But the Fogarty family wine group just purchased the property a couple of years ago, and since then they've kind of shot to fame. The winemaker there, Liam McElhenney, is a hilarious guy, deeply talented, really, really cool Kiwi. There's so many of them in Australia that are making great wine from our fruit, which is very exciting and entertaining for me. So this is 60% Pinot Noir, 40% Chardonnay, a blend of 40%, 30% and 30% Tasman Peninsula, Huon Valley and the Cole River Valley. It's a 2 vintage blend with a 5-year reserve in the liqueur. 9.25 grams per litre of sugar, 3.2 pH and 7.9 TA. This retails for about $75 a bottle. First time I've tried it. It's in good, classy Charles Heidsieck glass, I notice. Very happy about that. Lovely mousse in the glass. Lots and lots of mousse, actually. It's got a really lovely oyster shell and brine, maritime ocean breeze kind of character on the nose. There's red berries and green apples, red apples, preserved lemon. It's really, really lovely nose. It's beautiful. In the mouth, it's creamy, very fine, lovely sort of plump mousse, really lovely fine bead in the glass. You can see it's very elegant, actually. This is beautiful. Yeah, really glad to have this. Awesome. In the third glass, this is a bit of a cult wine in Australia. So the producer is called Terre, and Xavier Bizot is a winemaker, a Frenchman, and he's a purist. I mean, I've been receiving the wines as samples for years, and I'm very grateful for that because it's really created this kind of detailed arc, this story about Terre and the wines that they produce. So this is a 2017 Blanc de Blanc. It's obviously 100% Chardonnay, from 100% from the Bizot vineyard. The Van Clair, so the base wine, is fermented 100% in old oak casks for 8 months. I was worried that was going to come out the top there. Oh, gorgeous. Yeah, so fermented in old 600-litre barrels, 5 grams per litre residual, disgorged in July 2021, and has spent more than 4 years on lees. This is, I've been judging wine lists for years. This is the first year in 8 that I haven't, in fact. And this wine, the Daosa, is on so many great wine lists around the country because it's got structure and it's got line and life, but complexity too. It's a really beautiful wine. It's plump, it's savoury, it's lingering. This is completely different from these wines. These have a oyster shell maritime brine softness to them. This is much more like crushed rocks and minerals and apple skins and all sorts of kind of gorgeous things in here. Really complex, fresh, lively, very impressive. As we know that it is, this wine is good every year. But it's really nice to see it in this company. So moving into the fourth glass, we've got the Arras. This is the 9th release of the Blanc de Blanc wine. This is the 2014. It's obviously, as all of these are, hand-picked, whole bunch pressed. Primary ferment is in a combination of stainless steel and oak, 88% stainless steel, 12% first use oak, French, obviously. Full malo and a ripping 7 years on lees. I don't know if you've ever come across the Arras wines. I'm sure that you have. Ed Carr is one of Australia's most celebrated sparkling winemakers, and a wonderful guy to boot. So knowledgeable, lovely. He's almost too knowledgeable to talk to. You know, you ask a question, I ask a question about atmosphere, so bar pressure in the wine, and how you can achieve a lower bar. And the answer that I got, I mean, I can follow what he's talking about, but it's a deeply detailed, complex answer. So these wines are always balanced, creamy. In recent years, they have, this is 2014, are now very low dosage. This is only 3 grams per litre as opposed to sort of 5, 9 and 8, I think. So really, really low dosage. The bubbles were still coming out. Nice. These are just so complex. There's always kind of a field mushroom, preserved lemon, crushed shell, apple skin. It's almost got a bit of a yogurty sort of character, like Greek yogurt, you know, that nice little lift. Oh, it's savoury too. There's a course of phenolics that run through this wine. And when I say course, I mean C-O-U-R-S-E, not C-O-A-R-S-E. Course as in they course through the wine. It's fine, it's lingering, it's long. It's really, really special. Arras, he makes every wine from sort of a Brut Elite, which is maybe a $50 wine, through to a late disgorged, which has spent a whopping 14 years on lees. These wines really are really very special. It's got nougat and marzipan as well. It's just, the aftertaste, almost praline. It's gorgeous, really gorgeous. But they always are. And the final wine, I've never tasted this wine before. This is released, available for purchase at the end of October, so just a couple of weeks now. This is the first time that Mumm, as I said, have ventured into Australia, and all of the articles online come with the statistic, which I find very interesting, that at the 2022 crush, 37% of Tasmania's fruit was destined for sparkling wine. And further to that, the increase in sales of Tasmanian sparkling wine across just 2 years have increased from $46 million annually, AUD of course, up to $76 million AUD, which is just a huge expansion. We sort of knew that would occur. Now, this wine has been made by Trina Smith, who is the group sparkling and white wine maker for Pernod Ricard, in combination with, or in collaboration, I suppose, with the chef de cave of Mumm, Laurent Fresnet. So this follows Mumm's introduction into New Zealand, which happened in 2020 with the Marlborough Brut. This is now the Tasmania Brut, both from Mumm. And I'm looking for those kind of soft, floral, rounded edges that you get in the Mumm Cordon Rouge. And it's there. This is very different to the Mumm Cordon Rouge. This has sort of green apples and kind of strawberries almost. It's soft and plump and very pretty, but really kind of scalloped and pillowy, like Mumm Cordon Rouge is. I don't know what the residual sugar is in this wine. I'd love to know. Same with the acid. I think that they're both middling. This has got kind of like a 8-9 gram 6 TA kind of feel about it. It's got that sort of soft, plump, pillowy feeling. So I'd love to know that detail. If you've got it, drop it in the comments. I want to see it. Otherwise, 6 really exciting wines. I think I probably love the crushed shell character of this. I love the line and the focus of this, and I love the complexity and depth of this. This is gorgeous, a little sweet for my liking. Not that it is sweet, but it's got like a strawberries and cream sort of character on the nose, which many of you will love. It's not my preference, but it's valid. And this, so like green apples, literally like green apples, like a stewed apple pie, that sort of character, with a fresh ocean breeze. It's quite gorgeous. Anyway, drink more Australian sparkling. There's a lot to look at, a lot to discover. There's so much being made now, and I've got so many bottles here to open, so maybe I'll just continue to do lots and lots of bottles and open them on camera like this for you. We taste them together. We can work out what they taste like, why they taste like that. And in the meantime, pouring the Daosa into this glass to see how it performs. Just as a little contrast. It's got a short crust pastry character on the nose here. I do like the focus of the shape of this glass. It does bring all of the aromatics up to my nose. Maybe that's a bit lazy of me. But the shape of this one does really open it up. It's got a much wider bowl. You can see that the surface area across the top of the wine is increased. I would say I probably prefer this glass for this wine over this glass, although I do, as I say, like the aromatics that this glass delivers. Maybe more glassware videos. In the meantime, drink well. Life's too short. If you don't like the bottle, get rid of it, get another one. That's what I do.